How you guys doing today? Nice weather outside, huh? Lucky we're not doing it outside. I want to first start off with my philosophy on strength training. It's a little different than the average strength training program. It's not better, it's not worse. It just works for what I do with my athletes. I've been lucky enough to work with several professional players. Lately, I've been working with a couple of the Red Bulls, John Conway, Juan Pablo Angel, and I train them the same way I train all my athletes at any level. All right? I train usually from 12 years old and up, and pretty much the progression I follow is similar movements I'm going to show you guys today. Okay? I will, at the end, I'll leave a little time if you guys have any questions or anything like that. I just want to start with my philosophy, which is a little different. I train primarily the nervous system. Okay? By doing that, on my core lifts, which for a lower body day would be a box squat, which I will show you, and a deadlift. Okay? When I start that session, okay, that core lift, I'm going to work, if my athletes advance, I will work on them up to a 3 to 1 rep max. Okay? That means maximal weight lifted for the repetition. The reason for that is to train the nervous system, to fire at a faster rate. The studies I've read are based on, it's called Westside Barbell. It's actually a powerlifting system of training. It's based off old Russian strength texts. Louis Simmons, who created Westside Barbell, kind of educated myself on the strength training method. I do powerlifting meets myself. I am a soccer player. When I started doing this system, it simply worked. And the bottom line, it's worked for my clients, so that's what I really want to share with you guys. Okay? Again, the studies have shown when you lift a heavier weight, okay, it stimulates the nervous system. What I'm trying to do is when I put a heavy load on someone's back, when they're through a proper training progression, okay, when they sit back on the box, which Alyssa will show you, okay, it's an alarm clock for their body, okay? We want to build relative body strength for soccer players, okay? For you guys that don't know that term, relative body strength is strength for your body weight. Very similar to a wrestler, okay? I'm not trying to make them look like football players, okay? Under my system, we're training that nervous system, especially on the core lift. The assisted work's a little different. The supplemental work, which is the later lifts in a workout, that's general rep range is around 8 to 12 repetitions. Okay? But for that core lift, I'm trying to really have their nervous system fire at a fast rate. Why? That creates power. And you guys all know soccer is about a sport of power, especially now. Okay? I always stress the distance, I'll say it over and over again in this clinic, is the most important distance in the game is 5 to 10 yards. And I work on strengthening that distance to make someone explosive over those 5 to 10 yards. And the way to do it is by training with heavier weights. I'll go back to one of my first, not my first pro client, but a guy who's very close to me is Tim Howard, okay? I trained him before he was a number 1 for the Metro Stars, okay? So this is way back. And I trained him throughout this system that I'm going to kind of share with you guys today. I almost trained him like a middle linebacker in football. People are like, well, that's American football, it's totally different. Other than the tackling and the physicality of American football, okay, obviously leading with your head and things of that sort, the movements are very similar. Tim needs to be, he's a goalkeeper, he needs to be explosive off his line, he needs to be fast over 5 to 10 yards, he needs to pick crosses. That requires a higher vertical jump. The system helps improve that. There's no different movement. Okay? I was a strength coach for arena football. I train them the similar way I train soccer athletes. Okay? I'm huge on strength training doesn't only strengthen you physically, but strengthens you mentally. And I'll tell you one thing. When you're lifting a heavier weight, there's one thing you need to overcome, and that's fear. Okay? And if you're trained properly and you get that lift, you're going to feel emotionally like a king or a queen. And I guarantee you step on that field with much more confidence. And we know how important soccer is about being confident when you step on the field. Okay? So needless to do, we're going to start with the first core lift, which is the box squat. Okay? All right. We'll start with the first progression. It's with a med ball. Okay? Alyssa, why don't you face forward first. She'll start with the ball on her chest. She's going to have a similarly wide stance. Very important that when we initiate the downward phase of the movement, she's going to lead with her hips back. This is the safest way to squat. I'm telling you this right now. I've had 0 people get injured in the squat. She's going to keep her abs tight. She's going to sit back as far as she can on the box. By sitting back, her knees never shoot forward. We don't want her knees to shoot forward. When she sits back, it's all hips. There's no shearing force on the knee. Okay? If you have someone who regularly back squats, they sit and they do this, they come down like that. You probably even see it when you warm people up. Well, guess what? Shearing forces. And they start, if you have athletes that are going through puberty or growing pains, they get tendonitis in their knees, well, guess what? They squat, they're going to aggravate that. So we'll initiate that phase by sitting back on the box. Let's do about 5 reps. Okay? She sits it back. She has a med ball. And this is the first progression. Very important. At the bottom of the phase, she's literally thinking about pushing her butt through the box. That is static overcome by dynamic. That's what happens on the soccer field. If you're in a position like this, and you're in a back pedal, and you load your hips and you want to explode out, that's static overcome by dynamic. That's the reason for the box squat. This builds explosive power. Okay? Right here. Let's do a couple more, please. She sits, thinks about pushing her butt into the box and driving up. See how she has a wider stance than a normal squat. It's almost like a powerlifting stance, as I mentioned to you guys before. The reason for that, she's using her hips for the lift. Okay? She's thinking about using her hips. So this is more of a hip-dominant movement than a quad-dominant movement. A normal back squat is more like a quad-dominant movement. This is a hip-dominant movement. So this is going to strengthen all the extensors of the hip. Low back, gluteus maximus, and your hamstrings. Firing all at the same time. That's what happens on the soccer field when you sprint. Okay? Let's go with the dumbbells, Liz. Second variation. You're going to come here. Do a box squat again. Put them up on your shoulders. She's going to balance them on her shoulders. This is great for younger athletes. Keeping her chest up, looking straight ahead. She sits back. And then she's thinking about coming up. She's going to come up a little harder. Driving her shoulders up with speed. Okay? What that does, that causes constant and rapid hip extension. Similar to what you do when you do a vertical jump. It's the same movement. Okay? You can actually do box jumps out of this variation as well. But we'll do a couple more so everyone can see it. Sits back, drives up. Excellent. Let's grab the bar. Let's grab the bar. Last progression. Okay? Let's bring it over here. You got it? Put it on your back. There you go. All right. Now, this is the last part of progression. Now, listen. There's a form of accommodating resistance. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you guys. What sticks, what doesn't. All right? So what, she's going to sit down, do about 5 reps just with the bar. It's a 45-pound bar. It's hard. See how low that box is? That's a proper depth to squat. Okay? Obviously, this is the box we got, so it's nice and low. Okay? This is more for an advanced athlete to use. Okay? Alyssa's been training with me a couple times. Let's do 3 more, please. She sits down, don't bounce out of the bottom, sit into the box, and comes up. You see the difference right there. From a touch and go, from sitting into the box. It's a totally different movement. Okay? You want them to sit in, push their butt into the box, then come up. All right? If you guys have seen it, some of the places have chains you can put on the bar. That's a form of accommodating resistance. It's a contrast method of training. What happens is when Alyssa sits down on the box, I'm killing you with this all this time. All right, she sits into the box, chains deload on the ground if they're set up right. If it's a single lock with the same chain length all the way down, You want a connection and have the chains loaded on the ground when you come up. And then when you come up, come out of it, all right, they come up. So the method of that training is you're working through full hip extension, and the weight, the chains actually pull off the ground, and it's almost could be In the gym I work at, it's almost 80 pounds more at the top than at the bottom. Okay? That builds explosive strength. And also you can hook bands around that pulls your body down faster than actually gravity and builds more kinetic energy. Okay? When you sit into the box, you create kinetic energy. Okay? And you want to rebound out of that. When you sit down, you want to explode up because you have that stored kinetic energy. That's what you want in your muscle. That's what builds power. All right? Now, you can put down. Yeah, thanks. That's one of the core lifts. Okay? Pretty much all my clients box squat. Okay? If you guys want a quick example of what I do, okay? If I have a client, they come twice a week. Usually all my players come twice a week at the club level. Juan and John come 3 times because they're in the off-season mode. They do one speed day. You'll see similar movements with the girls later on. But for lifting days, it's 2 days a week. The first day is a max effort lower. When I say max effort, that means that 3 to 1 rep max. Okay? Now, the second day is a max effort upper. Okay? The upper body is just as important as the lower body when it comes to being an athlete. It's about force into the ground. The stronger you are with your upper body, easier to fend people off when you 50-50 balls, more generation of force into the ground. I'll get a little more into that with the speed work. We're going to go, the box squat is one variation. So what I do is it's called a conjugate method of training. What conjugate means is constant change. I change my workouts with my clients every 2 weeks. I change almost every exercise every 2 weeks. Why? Constant stimulus to the nervous system. If I have someone heavy squatting for 6 weeks straight doing the same weight, they're going to progress to a certain point, and then they're going to drop down. They're going to accommodate. Your body accommodates very easily. So I switch the lifts all the time. Every 2 weeks, I'm switching it up. If I do 2 weeks constant, I'll do a 3 rep max, 1 rep max, switch that core lift right away. So we're going to do the deadlifts. Okay? I box squat or deadlift for that core lift. We'll start with the dumbbells. We'll go right here, so everyone can see it. Dumbbell deadlift. Okay? Obviously, you're pulling away from the floor, so it's a little different firing. You're going to keep your chest up. You're going to sit back. Still. If you see the hip position Alyssa's doing when she sits back, it's the same hip position when she does when she box squats. Another hip dominant movement. Okay? If you're starting clients out and you're just starting with this system, I would go general rep range. Teach them the movement. Okay? So they're doing 8 reps with the same weight. You can do that for a week or 2. Then when they feel confident, then you start challenging them a little bit. Okay? So we're going to do 5 more. Just work on the hip position. You see how she sits back. Hips, 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 hips. My coaching cue for her is hips. And you will see, with a lot of clients, their knees sway. Has anyone ever seen that? When they do this. Okay? I talked to a couple of physical therapists about that. They say it's pretty much a cue. You just need to tell them to push their knees out. So if I see someone box squat and they sit back on that box, and when they come up, their stronger muscles are going to compensate for the weaker ones. So they go, and they're going to come up like this. I see it with a lot of my female clients. You need to tell them to push their knees out and almost spread the ground with their feet. When they do that, your hips are in a much more solid position. Much more solid. Okay? Let's go with the barbell. Listen. So she's going to go with the barbell. Again, you guys probably have seen some of these lifts before. Let's do 5 reps, please. She's going to go with a pronated grip. The weight's out in front. Very important with this is she keeps her chest up. Her abs are nice and tight. Now, if you guys seen a hex bar or a trap bar, I would recommend using that first. The reason why, the line of resistance is down the side of the body versus in front. This is a much more advanced lift. This is much more demanding. Alyssa's low back is very strong, so she's able to hold that position. If you have some younger kids you're training, they're not going to be able to hold that position. So look into the trap bar, okay? They have the raised handles or the flat handles. I think that's great. The reason for that is a line of resistance straight down the body. It's much easier to pull, okay? Again, 3 reps, then 1 rep. You're fine, okay? So those are the 2 variations I like to use, okay? Again, you can put chains and bands on a bar if you want for that accommodation. After we do that, we work up to that. We go to a single leg movement, okay? Now we're going to start with a single leg squat. Okay, so what we're going to do, stay like this, put your foot here. Okay, so we're first going to be on the back of the box. Very important. She's going to keep her chest up. When she goes down, just put your hands on your hips right now, Liz. She goes down, she's going to think about shooting and up. She's going to think about shooting her front knee forward when she comes down. Very important. See how her heel's coming off the ground a little bit? I would tell her to step forward a little. So when you come up, step forward a little bit. Now go back down again. Okay, so you guys see it. Yep, come back up. You can keep fluid with it. Keep going. Keep going. So she's going to go down. You can see how her knee's going back and forth. Incredible for injury prevention purposes. Okay? If you have people with ankle, knee, and hip issues, this exercise works on all three. I would keep it 3 sets of about 8 to 10 repetitions on each leg. You will feel a huge stretch in your hip flexor. Very important. She thinks about using only her front leg on this lift and doesn't support her weight on the back leg. You guys understand that? So if she goes down, go down right now, and back up. She's thinking about almost shooting this front knee forward as she goes down. Okay? That's good. Now, another variation would be you could elevate the front foot. The reason for elevating the front foot, further range of motion. Okay, I don't have a box with me to do that right now, but she would have her foot elevated. She would get deeper into that single leg squat while keeping that chest up. It's great for flexibility as well. If you have kids with flexibility issues, awesome. All right? Now we're going to this. Just do a couple with the dumbbell, please. Just 5. Weight on the front leg, shoot the knee forward. Good. Come up a little faster now. Now she's used to the movement, so I want her to think about coming up hard. If you have players that are getting advanced at the movements, slow and controlled does not happen on a soccer field. Come up explosive on upward phases of movements. So when she goes down, she thinks about exploding up. All right? Now we're going to do a step up. Now, the step up, it's a little, for this box, it's very easy. So what she's going to do is she's going to step up. The big variation she's going to think about doing is when she steps up, she balances at the top. Okay? She tries not to put that foot down. I would like to use a higher box, usually around, definitely for Alyssa's age, probably 18 inches or so to start. She's thinking about, again, keep the weight on the leg. Step forward, bounce on it, down, and then back up. She's going to go down and back up. Okay? Very controlled movement. When she gets good at it, she can come up on an upward phase very hard. Now, that's good. The variations of this are, you can do a barbell single leg squat. Very demanding, very hard exercise. If you have college level players that have even high school players have a high level of strength, have them do it. Very demanding. Why? The barbell increases core stability. All right? When I strength train most of my clients, okay, my core training is within the workout. All right? If a kid squats a 3 to 1 rep max and they are here and they sit back and they come in, they better have strong abs to do that. Okay? Because if they don't, they're not going to get the lift. And they're contracting their abdominals isometrically. It's the same as that contraction that happens on the soccer field. When you want to keep your base support, you receive a ball, you knock it back, you go to save a ball, it's isometric contraction. Okay? Crunch, crunch, crunch doesn't happen that often in the field. Doesn't happen. Okay? So what you want to think about doing, even with the deadlift, core stability, abs tight. You will focus on that all the time within your workout. Okay? If they're doing that whole workout, and they're doing everything standing in position, and they're doing a barbell single leg squat or a barbell step up, they're going to be pretty damn strong in their abdominal region to do that. All right? Now we're going to go with the split squat. We do it with the dumbbells. We're going to do it with dumbbells. Now this is a great exercise. Let's go sideways right here. Okay? I'll show it over here for you guys as well. Now what she's going to do, both her feet are going to be together. She's going to step back. Now when she steps back, she's going to think about shooting that front knee forward. Down. Then she's going to come back up and do it again. Excellent. Good. Keep going. Good. Ton of weight on the front leg. A ton of weight on the front leg. Excellent. Let's do a couple this way so these guys can see it. Yeah, that's fine. She steps back. She thinks about a ton of weight on the front leg, shoots the knee forward. Again, we're trying to keep that front leg, that front foot flat on the ground. And one more. Again, the rep range, 8 to 10 repetitions, about 3 sets. You can even do 4 if you like. Okay? Now, another variation would be have the barbell on her back. Okay? Another demanding exercise, works more on core stability. Okay? Now, we're going to go into, that's the single leg movements. Okay? Between the single leg squat, the split squat, and the step ups, you can easily rotate those lifts all the time. Every 2 weeks, that's easy. You can even change the rep ranges. You can go 4 sets of 6. Anything you want to do with the rep ranges is increase the load. That's what I do. So there's always a change in the workout. You change the grip on the bar, you change anything, that changes the lift totally. The nervous system has to guess and change, okay, and adapt. You always want adaptation all the time, okay? So we're going to go into some hamstring movements. We're going to start with, grab the dumbbells, please. And we'll go into, come up here a little bit. We're going to go into a Romanian deadlift or an RDL, okay? Very important. When we do this exercise, feet are shoulder width. Alyssa's going to keep her hands forward. She's going to sit back as she bends over at the waist and gets a good reach. You should feel a huge stretch from your hip to your knee. Come back up. So do it again, a little faster. Down and come back up. What she's doing, she's sitting her hips back, okay? She's creating a huge distance between the hip and the knee that stretches the hamstring. Includes the glute into the firing at the top of the movement. So when she sits back, squeeze the glutes as hard as you can at the top. Okay, it's an RDL. You guys probably seen that. Let's do the barbell RDL, please. Same movement. Sit the hips back, keeps the chest up. Okay, let's do 5. Sit back, stretch, come back up. Good. 2 more. Well done. I like to do this for higher reps. I like to go 10 to 12 for about 3 sets. For 10 to 12 with the RDL. Now, we're going to go into a good morning. Okay? This is a very demanding exercise. She had the bar on her back. She's going to think about keeping her chest up. Okay? Pinching the shoulder blades back tight. Very important her abs are tight and they better be strong. Okay? She's going to sit her hips back and down. Down, 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 and comes up. And do it again. Good. You can see how she's shaking. There's a hard movement. Down. Good. And let's turn around this way. So you can see it. And go. She sips the hips back and comes down. Well done. Excellent. Good. You put it back. Excellent. Now we go to the hip pop-ups. You put that down, Liz. There you go. We're going to a hip pop-up. This is basic. This will warm it up. Isometric contraction of the hamstring. So she put her hands across her chest. She's going to pop her hips up in the ground. Holds that position. Releases. Just do 3. This is great for a warm-up even before speed training. Okay? Now you have single leg. So 1 leg in the air. 3. And 1 more. Good job, Liz. Well done. And stand up, please. Now, those 3 lifts, okay, box, squat, or deadlift, the unilateral movements we did, split squat, single leg squat, step up, and the hamstring movements, that's pretty much your leg workout. If you do that in that max effort lower body day, it's going to give you great results. I can guarantee it, okay? So what we do now is we're going to go to the upper body movements, okay? We're going to start with, I like to do, it's called a barbell push-up, okay? Let's just going to have the bar out here. Okay. You can put the bar in a rack, in the lower position of a rack, okay? You can do a couple reps while I'm talking about this. Hips are nice and low. Okay, she's going to keep her head up. Very important. Abs tight. She's going to try to get all the way down. It's a great exercise. Barbell push-ups. I do, for this movement and for a lot of upper body movements, what I'll do to hit a lot of volume in a workout is I might do it's called a repetition method. So the repetition method would be like, all right, I'll tell Alyssa, get as many reps in as you can for 20 seconds. So I'll time her. You're not going to do that. Don't worry about it. All right? So I'm going to time her. She's going to get as many as she can with quality form, of course. I record that time. Another thing I do in all my workouts, I chart and I log everything. You need to have a written log because you don't know. If they PR, get a record in a squat or a deadlift, you can look back, instant gratification. Listen, you PR by 10 to 15 pounds. Instant gratification to the player. Enhanced mood, better player, bottom line. So what she would do is she'd do as many reps as she could. I do this with a lot of upper body movements, okay? The barbell push-up's great, okay? Another moment we'll do is a walking push-up. Let's just use this cone. This is nice and easy for you. Now what she's going to do is called a walking push-up. You can do this on the field as well. It's a great exercise to do on the field. She's going to push up, literally holding that hip position. She's going to walk over. Talk about training economy and bang for your buck. This is one of the best exercises you can do on the field. She's working on core stability, shoulder, hip stability, everything. Keep going. 2 more. Great job. Good. And relax. Now what I do is this. That's simple. 1 cone. If you have a team of players, set them up. Do that exercise. I set up sets of 3 cones in a row. Every push-up counts as 1. They'll do 15 repetitions, like 3 cones. Okay? So she would do a push-up, walk over. Let's come here for a second. We'll do 2 cones for you. So you're going to be here and here. Start there. And she's going to go for 10 reps and go. Everyone counts as 1, okay? She's still going to hold that hip position, all right? She's going to keep walking back and forth, solid position on each one. I hope you're counting. The biggest thing is when you're doing this with kids, they're not going to count. I'm telling you that right now. They get so engrossed in the exercise, they can't count. It just happens, all right? So tell them either count for them or I trust Alyssa that she's doing as many as I say. But this is a great exercise. Variations you can do. Okay, if you have younger players, they don't even have to do the push-up. You can just have them hold that push-up position, and they walk back and forth. You can do it for time. You can do it for as many reps as you can. Okay? The great thing about this is I'm just giving you a simple template. You can do whatever you want with it. Okay? You can add more cones, less cones, whatever you want to do. It's great because it's going to make kids strong, and that's what it's all about, making players strong. All right? Now, we're going to go on to the mighty sled. Now, sled dragging. I can't say it enough. For speed training purposes and application of force into the ground, heavy forward sled dragging teaches acceleration the most effective way. You get stronger, and you work on your hip positioning. If you are going forward or side to side, to be effective and be powerful as a player, you need to lead with your center of mass, which is your hips. Okay? You probably heard from some speed coaches, the 45-degree angle. Okay? That power angle, when they're leaning in, they're leaning forward with their hips. Exactly, you're supposed to do that. Okay? You're supposed to lead with your hips out and explode. What I like to do with those 5 to 10 yards is work on covering that ground with as least amount of steps as possible. Bigger strides. Going back to strength. The more force you exert behind your hip, the more your hips are going to go forward, the more powerful you're going to be. Okay? I always think of players like Henry, players like that. Their running form is no different with or without the ball. His running form is perfect. He has huge strides. He covers great amounts of ground. Okay? If you see any American football player, wide receivers, it's the same exact thing. They're thinking about force behind the hip and exploding out. The same thing happens with change of direction. So when I change direction, I want to think about leading my hips in the direction I want to go. Okay? The more you step out this way, causes a braking force. You're stopping your body from moving forward. Or you step out this way, it's going to stop your body from moving out sideways in the direction you want to go. You want to lead with your hips in the direction you want to go all the time. Okay? Let's go forward sled drag, please. So you're going to keep that angle, big steps. It's kind of a light weight, so it's a little awkward. Keep going, please. Good. Turn around, please, and take it back. I usually load her up with a bunch of 45s, so it's a little harder for her. Okay? And go again. Excellent. Big steps. Big steps. Okay? Now, let's fix it. She's thinking about leading with her center of mass. Again, the weight is not ideal for her. She's to keep that power angle. Okay? So what I want her to do is lead with her hips out, punch the knee forward, and extend fully behind the hip. Again, when we work on the box squatting, single leg squats, hamstring movements, you're training the same muscles that extend that hip. So it all comes piece by piece. The sled is outstanding to use post-match, days after games. The great thing about this sled is concentric muscle activity, so it's only shortening a muscle. There's really no tearing going on a muscle fiber. Thus, you're not going to be sore. Okay? It's great for conditioning as well. If I placed a cone out here all the way to the end of that field, and I told Alyssa to pull it up and back 3 times, minimal loading on the body. It's not like running. You're not beating your joints up all the time. But she's going to get quite a workout out of it. Okay? If that thing's loaded up and she's pulling it, she's going to get quite a workout. I think for speed training and even on the field training purposes, if you want to get the most productive thing, sled training is it. It is the best tool to use. If you want to get across strength training, you can use it with any age level. I don't even sell these things that much. It's not a sales pitch here. I'm telling you that right now. You think about, if you have a program, you have teams that you want to run, I would highly recommend getting sleds to use. I think it's great. And again, it's worked for me, so that's all it works. Let's go backwards. Now, backwards is this. Now let's try and keep her chest up. She's going to sit back, and she's going to pull it backwards. Don't reach back so much. Push out in front of you. Good. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Good. Relax. All right? Turn around, please. Take it back. Now, that takes some force. Now, what that's doing is it's frying out the quads. Okay? A lot of strength endurance going on in the quads. She's keeping her hip position. She's leading with her hips back. Very important her core stays tight. Okay? And she pulls back. Great exercise. All right? Again, what I like to do, up and back is usually, I always count up and back as 1 set. I usually do 2 to 3 sets up and back. I sometimes go forward, down, backwards, back. If I feel a need where I need to work on acceleration or something like that, I'll make them do forward drags. Whatever you want to do, you can change it up. Forwards, down, backwards, back, whatever. Now, I'm going to show us a couple sideways sled drag variations. I'm going to try to. Hopefully I don't breathe too hard into this microphone. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm just hold it like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here. Conway does these all the time. He's going to be here, hips nice and low, his chest is up. Now he's going to think about stepping, step. Now I lead my hips in the direction I want to go. If I stand up tall and I try to pull this sled, look at the difference. If I keep my hips low to the ground and I lead my hips in the direction I want to go, it's that much easier. If you have someone do a forward sled drag and they stand up real tall and they're like, Coach, I can't do it. I'm like, well, you're not leading with your hips. Once you lead with your hips, suddenly it moves a lot more effectively. Again, it's just about that center of mass. I'll take it back, same thing. So my hips are low. I'm leading with this hip going in the direction I want to go. Out. Just like that. Okay? I usually would have it wrapped around my waist, so it would be much easier for me. All right? Now, that's a sideways sled drag. I like doing a crossover as well. Crossover is very functional for the goalkeeping position, or any position, changing direction, things of that sort. So you're going to be here. My hips are low. I'm thinking about In this variation, I'll step with my front foot and cross and extend. See how my hips are still facing out this way. I'm not thinking about rotating my hips forward. I'm keeping my hips facing out this way the whole time. Very important, I step across with my hip. The other variation would be to step behind. Now behind, it's like this. You come like this, and you step behind. And guess what? If I don't lead with my hips in the direction I want to go, I'm not moving it. Okay? The sideways, the crossover in front, crossover behind, outstanding exercises. Minimal impact on the body and does not make you sore. Okay? Again, what I like to do with the distances in my indoor facility right now, I only pull it for about 15 yards. So I set up a cone 15 yards apart and do it that way. If you're outside and you want, again, if you want effect you want to get out of it, if you want to get a conditioning effect, double the distance. Go forward, backwards, side to side, whatever you want to do. Okay? Now, Alyssa, good job. Thank you very much. All right, ladies, you're on. Good work, Alyssa. All right. UMBC, right? All right. You know what to do. Now, that's kind of the strength section part. Now I'm going to go into speed training. Okay? With the speed training, we're going to go through a little bit of a ladder warm-up. I'm sure all of you have seen this before or used it or whatever. What's going to happen is, what I try to focus on with the ladder is this. All these ladies are going to think about is keep bending, keeping the weight on the balls of their feet. The reason why we want to keep the weights on the balls of their feet, we want fast players. If I'm here and I'm in a position and I'm flat-footed, slow players. We want to stay on the balls of our feet, be active, ready, agile. So I always focus on balls of the feet, bend at the ankle, knee, and hip. Okay? All right, guys. 2-footed hops, please. And go. And we're going to go for 2. Speed off the ground. I just want them to think about clearing the rung in front of them. That's it. On this progression. Single leg. Right leg on the ground. Go. Ankle, knee, and hip stability. Right there. Single leg. Go right and then left. Excellent. Well done. Good. Now, what I'm going to do is this. They were nice and the cadence was nice and easy. Now what I want you guys to do, 2-footed hops for speed. You're going to get over those rungs as fast as you can. Stay on the balls of your feet. Ready, go. Speed over them. That's it. Look at the body position. See how it changes right away? More urgency to the movement. Do it again. Come on. Speed off the ground. Speed off the ground. Now we're going to go single leg. Told you ladies, you're going to work today. That's it. Speed off the ground, and then left. So I would always start slow, obviously, and then go fast. All right? Oh, wow. Turf monster. Now, those are the basic ones. I like to do is the zigzag hop. So you're going to start right here. Okay? Keep weight on the balls of the feet. It's almost like you're skiing. Ready, go. Excellent. I want her to stay as tight as she can to the ladder. Keep the hips bent and speed off the ground. Excellent. Well done. Good. Well done. Good. Fix that. Now, challenging. Single leg. Same movement. Single legs. Okay, right leg, go. Again, body control. Hips are forward. Hips are forward the whole time throughout the drill. left. Excellent. Now, going into warm-ups and things of that sort. You can see how I went right into it with these girls. Right into the warm-up. Before you do anything, dynamic warm-up is the only way to go. Static stretching, I would only use after you do your exercise. All right, slows the nervous system down, slows the fire rating down. Okay, so what we want to think about doing is that progression, what I do, even in the beginning of a speed session, is slow, build it up, enhance the nervous system, neural pathways, firing at a faster rate. That's what we want to do, okay? Now, that was kind of easy, right, girls? To make it harder, I add a cone. Now, what I do with the cone is this. They skip each step. Any step, I have a cone in. Okay, so it just went from a low-level plyometric to a high-level plyometric. So we're going to do 2-foot hops. When you guys see the cone, you skip that step. Okay, you think about getting height over the cone. So it's still speed over the rung, then height over the cone. Okay, go. Good. Excellent. Well done. So we're thinking about speed over the rungs, okay? And then when we get to the cone, we skip it. Now, more demanding movement, single leg. Awesome. Good. Excellent. These ladies are doing a great job, man. It's not easy. Now, depending on the focus of the day, if I want to do a strength day, a great strength day in the field, do movements like this. With the med ball, you could do any single leg movement on the field. You could do split squats with the med ball, hold it out like this, step back, walking lunges with the med ball, things of that sort. Then if you want, you finish with the sled. Okay, so you could start with stabilizing activities like this, okay, where I'm working on this strengthening with them. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to change the cadence. I want you to get real fast now. So we're going to think about going through this as fast as we can. Okay, so go. Quick hops, go. Over. Speed. That's it. Quick. Quick. Fast. Good. Well done. Awesome. Now, no, we won't go single leg. I won't kill you guys that much. Now, pretty much all the movements right now are linear, meaning straight ahead. Now let's go sideways. So you guys are going to face this way, side hops. 2-foot hops over, hop over the cone. Well done, ladies. Body control. You can see they land, they bend at the ankle, knee, and hip. Then they work on speed. Power, speed, power, speed. Okay? It mimics the same movements that happen on the field. Okay? You're messing up on me. Now, you guys can see all I'm doing right now is hop variations with them. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to go over to here. And we're going to go through the hurdles a little bit. Okay? You can do fast feet through these as well. Okay? Isn't any manual out there. So what you're going to do, I like using a cone because it makes it a little different. Okay? By skipping the steps and things of that sort. All right? Ladies, let's go over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2-footed hops over. So what I try to do is when I do the ladder, I go right into the hurdle. Okay? I pretty much lay out my whole session before the kids even get on the field. The reason why, it's progression smooth. Okay? That's one thing I learned when I was a strength coach with the Metro Stars and with Sky Blue, the women's team. I laid it out so it's boom, 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 boom. It's quick. There's no time to talk. There's no time to give gap. It's bang, bang, bang. So we're going to go 2-foot hops over the hurdles. And then what you see that cone out there, ladies? I think there's a line straight across there. You're going to accelerate out to the line. Then jog back. 3 in a row. Go. And then accelerate out of it. I like drills like this because it's like a loading mechanism for the athlete. It's almost building that kinetic energy we talked about in the box squat and then releasing it into the sprint. Okay? What I would like them to do and I would focus on is when they keep going through this progression, every rep, they're thinking about faster, speed, speed. Okay? Now we're going to go single leg. Now, the big difference is, hold on, ladies, this and this I consider two different exercises. For speed training purposes, I want them to focus on their hip positioning being forward and big strides out. What happens is when an athlete gets fatigued, they start forgetting about one thing. So they start thinking about, oh, I'm just going to clear these hurdles, and then I'm jog to the pet peeve, annoys the heck out of me. So what I want them to do is upon landing here, they accelerate out. What I would focus on is big strides out. I want them to cover from landing here to getting here in the least amount of strides as possible. Okay? For the purpose of this clinic, I can't really get into the whole speed training mechanism. But what I want you to do, okay, we're going to go 2-foot hops, accelerate out, big strides. Ready? Go. 2-foot hops. And then accelerate out hard. Sprint. Out of it. Good. Good. And they're covering ground. Cover ground. One more. Not bad. Now, depending on the purpose of the day, if this is more of a speed day, what I would do is these hurdles are pretty much just distractions for them. I'm more focusing on here. I'm only going to work on looking at this part. If I'm looking at the whole thing, sometimes I'll do that. But for the most part, I'll look at a certain section of the drill and concentrate on that. Okay? Because if you have a team of 18 girls, it's hard to look at everything and analyze. It's not realistic. So I focus on one thing when they're doing drills. It makes it much simpler. So I want you guys now, you're going to face here, side hops through, turn and sprint. Go. Turn and sprint. Good. Sprint out of it. Accelerate out. Good. Good. Well done. Good. Last one. That's good. Good. I would start with all double leg progression. Every line of resistance is forward and back. Another variation would be what I like to do. You literally get the hurdles like this, and you're going to do a zigzag hop over them. I like to use the flat poles too, but for this purpose, you're going to face forward, you zigzag hops over them. So start on the right side here, clear it, and you try to get as many hops in as you can into a sprint. So get more hops, ladies, more, faster over. That's well done, excellent, good. Good, that's what I want. Speed, 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 good. Well done, well done. One more. Speed off the ground, speed off the ground. Now, we're going to go into a very hard exercise. Single leg diagonal. Single leg diagonal. Now, right leg, ready? Go. Don't knock over those hurdles and sprint. Well done, ladies. Excellent. Surviving all my challenges. Good. Well done. Excellent. And you can see, I'm focusing good ankle and hip, knee and hip stability upon landing, except for that one. And then we sprint out. Okay? Do one more on the left. What you guys done? One more on the left. Oh, I jinxed you. Now, think about what we're thinking about. Accelerating out, still keeping the big strides. Now they're getting in a fatigue state. I've done several reps now. Okay, so they're getting a little more fatigued. Okay? Good job, ladies. Well done. Now we're going to go over to the Giddo cones. Now, what the girls are going to do, they're going to stay right in front. Actually, have the cone in front of you. All right? And we're going to do, I like this drill. It's the circle drill. I don't know. I thought of it someday. You're going to keep your hips low, weights on the balls of the feet. They're going to go clockwise around the cone as fast as they can. The object of the drill is that they don't knock into the cone. Okay, so their hips are going to be low. We're going to go clockwise. Don't until I tell you to stop. All right? You ready, ladies? And start. Go. Faster. Speed. Speed off the ground. Speed off the ground. Speed off the ground. Keep going. And relax. Excellent. Well done. Now we're going to take it the opposite direction. Okay, so counterclockwise. Ready? And start. Well done, ladies. Keep going, keep going. Come on. Speed, speed, speed. Quick, quick, quick. Fast off the ground. Weights on the balls of the feet. Keep your heads up, ladies. Keep your heads up. Keep going. And relax. Excellent. Now, you can use this exercise to warm them up. Okay? You start them slower. You warm up. I like to do balancing toe touches. Like a variation, they do this for like, say, I like to go 15, 20 seconds, usually. If I'm in a bad mood, maybe I'll go up to 30. But for the most part, I'll just keep it. As long as they're doing the effort and they're not dragging their feet. So when they go around this cone, they're having choppy steps. The reason for that is we have the weight on the balls of the feet. If they drag their feet, they're creating friction. They're slowing their body down. For agility purposes and change of direction purposes, no. All right, so what we want to think about doing is staying on the balls of our feet, being in that loaded position, okay, and not dragging them. All right, so we're going to start clockwise. When I say switch, guess what we're doing? We're switching direction. Yes. All right, you ready? And start. Switch. Switch. Up. Keep going. Switch. Oh, come on, ladies. And hold. Relax. Now that's about 3 to 5 seconds for each direction that I'm going at. Okay? It is incredible the amount of it taxes you conditioning-wise. Okay? But it's great because there's a very limited space. Like you can do this anywhere. Hell, you can do it in your bedroom if you want. All right? So what I try to tell people is this. As long as you're staying on the balls of your feet and you're keeping your hips in a loaded position, you can do this drill with anything. You can make it soccer specific. You can knock a ball to them, and they receive it when they see that ball. Okay? That's what I like about the exercise. Okay? I know Paul uses it in his goalkeepers. He uses fast feet. And they do several different diving combinations with it. All right? So we're going to go through it again. Okay? One more time with the switches. All right? Counterclockwise to start. Counterclockwise. Ready? And start. Switch. 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 And relax. Now, great resting recovery movements, okay, to do during this. Instead of just telling them to rest and they stop and they put their hands on their hips, okay? Do prone bridges while they rest, all active, okay? One thing about soccer is it's an anaerobic sport because you need power, you need energy without oxygen, but it makes it aerobic as a duration of play that you're constantly moving, okay? So using active rest intervals, like, you guys know what the prone bridge is? Or plank? You ever hear that? Can you do one for me? Quiz time. All right, so we're down. Good job. Keep your hips up, head up. So you'd hold that position. So the rest interval, say it's 30 seconds. You want to do 3 sets of this clockwise for 20 seconds. The rest interval will be a 30-second plank. Okay? You can get up, please. Thank you. All right? Or the good oldie is push-ups. No one likes them, so make people do them. Okay? I would do walking push-up variations. I do regular push-up variations. You can do push-up holds. Whatever you like to do, as long as it's active. You can make them do body squats during it. It's fine. Balancing toe touches, like I said before, as long as they have to concentrate on something other than just standing there. I hate coach. All right? So what we're thinking about doing, we went through the double leg progression. The single leg is a lot more difficult to do. All right? I showed these girls like 5 minutes before we went on. So I hope you guys do well with it. So we're going to go right leg, clockwise around. Now, what they're doing with the right leg is they're bending at the ankle, knee, and hip. They're thinking about not scuffing their feet. Easier said than done. It's a hard exercise. All right, guys? Right foot clockwise. Ready and begin. Stay tight to the disc. As tight as you can to the disc. Speed, 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 speed. Come on. Get around it, get around it, get around it. And relax. What I love to do is the same leg they're hopping on. I tell them to hold, so they stay, okay? Then they go into about 10 repetitions of the balancing toe touch. They come down, touch, come up. Incredible for injury prevention purposes. Ankle, knee, and hip, okay? Let's go left leg clockwise. Left leg clockwise. And begin. Excellent. Well done, ladies. Good job. And hold. Well done. Excellent. Now, we're going to go into the switches. Okay? Very important, when you say switch, you want them to react to your voice instantaneously. If they lag behind, get on about it. You want them to, when you hear the voice, boom, switch, they're right into that, so they react quickly. So we're going to go right leg clockwise, switch to switch directions, not feet. Very important. Ready? And start. Switch. 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 And relax. Switch feet. All right? Clockwise. Left foot clockwise to start. And go. Switch. 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 And relax. Give these ladies a hand. Come on, man. That's hard. Jeez. Excellent job, girls. You didn't know it was going to be this hard, did you? All right. Now, the cone progression. What they did with those switches, that is very advanced movement, but it's awesome. Again, with the single leg stuff, to make it soccer specific, you have a server. They're hopping. They hop. They react. They knock a ball back. They keep hopping around. Boom. They knock a ball back. Anything like that. Again, use it to your purpose. You can do single leg. They receive a ball into the ground. One touch, two touch back. All right? Now you can see we have two different variations with the bands. Okay? Thank you to Quick Goal. We have both. I like to use these lateral resistors with the ankle strap for speed and more of a conditioning purpose. Okay? The band is more of a strengthening purpose. To strengthen the gluteus medius up here. Okay? If you've ever done these before or had your kids do them before, they all say it burns. They feel like they get a shot right about here. Okay? That is your gluteus medius muscle frying off the bone. That's one of your prime stabilizers of your hip. Okay? Backwards sled dragging, incredible for ACL prevention. This exercise, all those different jumping variations, awesome for ACL prevention. Okay? So what we're going to do, let's have the two girls with the bands. This is you. Go slow. No. Keep it on. Come over here, though. Come on. Don't be shy. All right. So they're going to keep their hips nice and low. They're going to go down and back. Up and back is 1 for 2. What I'm focusing on with them is going back to Alyssa box squatting, is their hips sitting back and your chest being up. Okay? Another thing that happens when kids fatigue, players fatigue, what happens to their head? What happens? Drops right down to the ground. You know that's a big no-no in a game of soccer, having your head down all the time. Okay? So another coaching cue would be chin up. So you guys are going to go down and back. Okay? And go. So it's big step, small step. The reason why you want that, constant tension on the band. Again, prevention purposes, injury prevention purposes, awesome. Do you want to go slow because the purpose of it is to strengthen. Okay? Do it one more time, ladies. Come down back. So we're going to keep the hips nice and low. Okay? That chest up. Okay? Just like they're doing. And they're going to feel a nice little burn. Now, if you do not have the straps, these lateral resistor straps, you can do speed for these. But what a big thing that happens, and you've probably seen it before, is when they fatigue, their knees go like this, and it rolls up their leg. Okay, and it kind of kills the whole purpose of the drill. So what, you guys now are up, you two. Hips nice and low, and now they're going to work on speed. Now I want them to think about keeping constant stretch on the band, okay? Chest up and move it quick. Now what they're going to focus on is when they get to this cone, they're going to think about driving off both feet at the same time, okay? The reason for that, the purpose is you're limiting your power. If you change direction, you're always pivoting off one foot, you're literally chopping your body in half, okay? What I try to teach, what change of direction mechanics is, it's like the vertical jump test. They jump up with both feet. You're going to jump off a standing vertical jump. You're going to jump higher with both feet or one. Two, right? So it's the same thing when we move laterally. We want to think about, boom, driving off both legs. Again, it's easier said than done. It's a very hard thing to teach. But if you teach it well, it's awesome. And kids really improve with it. So what you're going to think about doing, ladies, up and back is 1, 3, hard. Hips low, and start. Go. Explode out, both feet. Go, go, right away. Quicker, quicker, quicker. Move, 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 move. Keep going, keep going. Push off both feet out. Push. And relax. Hold. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now what I want you guys to think about doing is when you get to that cone, think about pushing off both feet at the same time out. So you're literally thinking about when you cross, or you come to here, you're thinking about boom, out. Again, you want to lead your hips in the direction you want to go. So when I do that jump, I'm thinking about, I want to go to the right, so I'm jumping off both feet out to the right. All right, 3, go. And push out, quick. Come on, faster. Move it, move it, move it, quick. Come on, push. That's it, ladies. Excellent. Keep going. Not bad. Well done. Excellent. I think that, you guys did a great job, by the way. All right? Now, leave those on. One more thing I want to show you guys. All right? Is sideways is the most common use for the band. Okay? What I like to use also to keep constant tension of it, I'll have you two guys come forward. You're going to walk from here out to those 2 cones right here. I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to sit, squat down, pull the band back apart as far as you can. While keeping your chest up, you're going to do a duck walk out. So you're going to do this. Literally like that. The reason why is you're frying the hips off the bone. All right? It's a great exercise to do, believe me. As long as you sit the hips back and you watch for their knees shooting forward. Don't let their knees shoot forward. Sit the hips back. All right? So go. Little steps. Wider with the band. Wider, wider, wider. Awesome drill. Great to warm up. Okay? And backwards back. Take it backwards back. Now, a big thing, and this is one of the last points I'll make. When I say backwards back, and these guys did a great job with it, they're leading with their hips back. Okay? I'm going to go back to another football reference. I apologize. But if you're a defensive back and you drop into coverage, they always lead with their hips back. The reason for that is so they can break on a ball quickly. There's no difference in a game of soccer. Okay? If you see a player lead back like this, how the heck are they going to be able to get into a fast position going forward? They never will be. They're not in a good position. Change of direction mechanics. Think about it this way. Your hips are low, your hips are strong. If my hips are low, if I'm receiving a ball and I'm standing up tall like this, my feet are together, I'm in a very weak position. I can easily get knocked over off a ball. But I'm here and I'm in a loaded position, I'm in a much stronger position. It's the same thing with change of direction. Okay? Ankle, knee, and hip flexed, I'm shooting my hips back. All right? Good job, ladies. Well done. Give these guys a hand, please.